Hello, everyone. Welcome. It is the Our Tour Football Podcast. I am Dayna. This is Kate. Sonja is coming. She's running a little bit behind from the hospital. Lisa had a little emergency at her farm, and so hopefully she'll be here in just a little bit. But we are going to go ahead and get started with what is our favorite show of the year. And the reason why it's our favorite show is because it's super opinionated and not always based in fact. I mean, that's right. That's kind of what we do, right?
I guess that's one way to say it. Yeah.
It's true. It is our annual Pick'em show. And this is where we go ahead and we pick the divisions, who's going to win them. We'll go into the playoffs if we want to. We'll go into the Super Bowl if you want to. We'll kind of see how we roll a little bit, but it is going to be a great show. Okay. So first, before we get started, of course, we want to thank our sponsors, Donkey's Place Cheesesteaks. They've been our sponsors for 5 years, and they are the reason why you can watch and listen to this podcast without a single advertisement. And so we love them for that. You can always go check them out. The best cheesesteaks on the East Coast. Just ask Anthony Bourdain, right? That's who was there. It was so good. But all right, so you have Medford, Mount Holly, and Camden in New Jersey, or you can go to goldbelly.com, look up Donkey's Place Cheesesteak, and you can order it and have it sent directly to your house. Okay. So the reason that we do this every year is because for twofold. Number one, it's really fun and everyone does it. And it's like, okay, how do you think these teams are going to do? However, we also like to see over the season how much teams change, right, Kate? We talk about this. Yeah. We talk about how it is just amazing that we always say it's all shiny on paper at the beginning of the season, but how quickly a season can change.
Yeah, and I like that I think a lot of the other kinds of shows that do these pick'em things take themselves very seriously. We have fun with it. I have a spreadsheet. I'm filling in everyone's picks as we go along. I will bring this up probably around week 12. We'll do a show and just see how we're doing on our predictions. I like to be the most wrong.
Yeah.
Some seasons that works. Some seasons it doesn't. Every once in a while, a team will surprise us, and I'm like, "Oh yeah, I picked them," and then we laugh because we knew I just picked them because that was crazy. But it's fun, and like you said, Dayna, it's so interesting to me to talk about how we think these teams are going to do right now. And what, they're trying to get down to their 53-man roster. We have week 1 coming up. We have 6, maybe even 7 weeks of rust where you still, it'll be that long before we get a good feel for how these teams are doing. And then, like I said, probably around week 12, 13, we'll bring the list out and just see where we're at. It helps me as a fan of a team that doesn't do well early in the season to know doesn't mean anything till later in the year. Let's get 3/4 of the way through. Let's still have some hope. Doesn't always pan out, but it's all about change, tracking the change.
I think we have to start though with, to be honest with you, which was the biggest news of the day, the thing that brought Twitter to a screaming halt. Did y'all see who's starting in New Orleans? Spencer Rattler. Just came up. Of course, we're not going to talk about Taylor and Travis. Kudos to them. I hope they have a wonderful life. That's all I care about it. But we have been talking with our good friend Big Red since last year about Spencer Rattler. He has been crowing about this. Spencer Rattler will be starting in New Orleans. Big Red, I am so excited for you because I know how badly you wanted this. So we are thrilled about that for our friend Big Red. Hello to Darcy. Hello to Sue. Hello to everyone in the comments. If you guys are watching over on Facebook, over on Blue Sky, over on Twitter, come to the YouTube channel. We have a live chat because we want your thoughts on these picks that we're going to do. We want you to tell us why we're wrong, why we're right, all the good stuff, and we will share your comments on screen. So I hope you do that. So we're going to go ahead and we are going to get started. Now, the first division, we did a poll yesterday and so you guys could kind of vote on who you are going to, who you guys thought would win the divisions. I will tell you there's no huge surprises in this one this year, which is funny. Because Kate, do you remember like 3 years ago, the Jaguars fans stuffed the ballot box? Like they came in hard for that. It was hilarious.
They did. And either they didn't show up this year or last season brought them down to earth and they're being a little more realistic in how they're voting in the polls. But yeah, Jacksonville had a very disappointing 4-13 season last year, was still not the bottom of the AFC South.
Nope.
That would be the Tennessee Titans, who have a brand new quarterback, one Cam Ward.
Yeah. Well, we're going to get them. I want to start with the East first. So I want to go in order of the way that we did it on our polls, just because it's easier for me to keep track of. So we asked, who wins the division in 2025 for the AFC East? The Bills won with 93% of the votes. Dolphins came in second. The Jets and the Patriots didn't get a single vote. Neither did. Fan base, where were you? Where were you at on that one? So I'm going to go ahead and start. I agree with the poll. I think that the Bills, there's no reason they shouldn't win this division this year. I do think that there is some difference in the lower half of that, in my opinion. But I do think that the Bills have I don't want to say it's easy because nothing's ever easy, right? But I think the Bills are probably going to win that. And like Kate said, she keeps a spreadsheet. So if you keep seeing her typing, that's what she's doing. She's keeping track of what everybody says. I actually have the Jets coming in second in this division. I think they're going to be better. I guess I have a little more optimism that we don't know what Fields is going to bring to the table for them. Then I have the Dolphins, and then I have the Patriots. Although I do think that the Patriots and the Jets could flip-flop that. I think that it just depends on who gets those new young players rolling fast enough. So that will be really interesting to see. Okay, where are you at with the East?
Well, I mean, I have the Bills number one in the East. As long as they have Josh Allen until somebody beats them and wins the division. They had 13 wins last year. Nothing's really changed there. I don't believe in the Dolphins. I have concerns about what's going on down there. I agree with you that the Jets are I think, with Justin Fields, they are my number two. I feel like this is a division where the four of us are going to kind of really align. It'll be interesting to talk later with Lisa about what she's seeing with Miami. But I don't believe in the Patriots. I'm putting the Dolphins third, Patriots last. I need them to show me a little something. It's almost the same mentality as I am with the Bills. Until you show me you can beat them, I'm just going to keep putting them in first. And for the Patriots, until you show me you're not going to lose 4 games, I'm going to leave you at the bottom.
Right.
And we'll see how they do. I don't know that they have enough talent to get to the top of the division. They do to get to 500.
Yeah,
I mean, they may very well move up above the Jets.
Yeah.
But I think, yeah.
So Sue says Bills will win, but I think it will be closer than before. That's a really interesting. It depends on, it depends on this. So as Darcy says, Bills only lose the division if Josh Allen gets injured. And I think that's what we talk about when we say everything's shiny on paper until something happens. I don't believe in any of the other 3 teams. Big Red is letting us know it's like Bills, Finns, Jets, Patriots. So he's a little more with Tua. And then we have Sue again. It says, I think the Jets are last, Miami second, as long as Tua doesn't have to play in the cold. That does seem to be a bit of an issue for sure. You know, this is an interesting division because I think there's an obvious clear winner. It's kind of like the AFC West was for a long time. There's a clear number one, and then everything underneath of it could kind of shuffle depending. So that's going to be really, really interesting, I think.
I mean, Drake May's coming out for his second season with the Patriots. We will find out when Justin Fields plays for the Jets. If quarterback has been their issue the last couple of years, or if the rest of that team is a hot mess. I think May will definitely be better than last year. I think whoever said it, I think they're right in that the standings will be closer. I don't know that those 3 teams can get double-digit wins, but they can all get 8 or 9.
Right.
For the Jets and the Patriots would be a huge improvement over last year. I don't know that they can get over that, though. So we'll see.
Right. We'll see. This one will be interesting. All right. So then let's move on to the AFC West. In our poll, the Chiefs are winning, but not as strongly as the Bills won the top one. The Bills won the last poll by 93%. The Chiefs are at 75, still big, but the Broncos are right there behind them. Raiders and Chargers, not as much. But I find this division a little interesting. And we've talked about this, Kate, a million times on this show. This division is like the coaching hierarchy of the NFL right now. You have Andy Reid, you have Sean Payton, you have Pete Carroll, you have Jim Harbaugh, right? Darth Harbaugh. These guys know how to fix a team. They know how to get them running. It just is going to then come down to their talent level and their injury level, right? So when I look at this division, I too have the Chiefs winning because, again, like we've said 1,000 times, until you prove me different, until you prove anything different. Our good friend Michelle says that all the time. I start to debate a little bit with myself between the Broncos and the Chargers. And the only reason why is, will Bo Nix be able to live up to what he was doing last year? Will there be any regression? Are the injuries going to start to kick in? Which then you have to question about the Chargers too. I think that this division is going to be much tighter than it's been in years, although we've had two playoff teams in it last year. That Denver Broncos Chargers battle is what's going to be interesting. So my official is going to be the Chiefs, Broncos, Chargers, Raiders. I think this division is going to be very tight. I think Pete Carroll gets the Raiders back up into a acceptable win number for this year until he can turn it over again next year. But I think that it's going to come down. I think that there's still going to be probably two playoff teams in this division. All right, Kate, where are you at with the AFC West?
And this is where Kate's craziness comes in. I don't know what it is with me and the Raiders. I think they're going to be a lot better. I think between Pete Carroll, Geno Smith, the deal they made with the Browns to get Kenny Pickett as their backup quarterback, I have got the Raiders in a solid second place in this division behind the Chiefs. But frankly, if there's an injury to Mahomes, the Raiders, I think, will be fine. I love Bo Nix. I don't believe in Sean Payton and everything that's going on in there. And I can't pick a Harbaugh. Justin Herbert, in my mind, has until the bye week to prove that he even belongs in this league. He has been such a letdown at quarterback that they have to decide this season, are we going to keep riding with this kid, or are we going to just, part ways and figure out something else? I am very, very, very high on the Raiders this year.
So really, Justin Herbert, and we've talked about Justin Herbert before, but he's kind of the Kyler Murray of the AFC. Shoulda, coulda, woulda. Like, what is going on? His numbers are good. He just can't. He's just not there. And everyone talks about, well, Harbaugh is the quarterback whisperer. Is he? He had him last year. And yes, they played better. I don't want anyone to think that we're saying they're a bad team. They're not. It's just, can you get to that next notch a little bit? And I think that's a bigger question mark. But I think the AFC West is finally, actually both West. We're going to talk about the NFC West too. That's another whole question mark. But I think that the West is going to be much more competitive.
Yes.
It's going to be tighter. It's not going to be the cakewalk it was a few years ago for the Chiefs. I think that this is going to be much more enjoyable to watch, that sounds terrible, but I think you understand what I mean. So, All right. So let's look at our chat. Sue said that she had forgotten all those coaches are in the same division. I know. I think a lot of people do. They're like, you know what? They're the old school, but they're the good school. So it's really interesting. Darcy says, Chiefs still win the division until someone else proves they can beat KC. That is really what it comes down to, until proven otherwise. Right.
But let's talk about last season with the Kansas City Chiefs. They didn't look good for most of the year. And then we got to the playoffs, and all of a sudden they turned it on. If Travis has got his mind on wedding plans and everybody else is doing it, they seem to have this attitude of they can just show up and win. And I think there are a whole lot of other teams this year who are going to tell them they can't.
Yeah.
They have to.
I think they're going to have to fight for it. Yeah. I think that we're not going to have Travis Kelce just swoop in during the playoffs and get them further. I think they're going to have to fight for it for sure. Yeah. All right. Big Red says he got a hot take. Chargers, Chiefs, Raiders, Broncos. That would be smoking hot. Big Red. Yeah. That would be smoking hot. And then CP wants to know what will Taylor's engagement affect the Chiefs' chances? I don't think it'll affect the Chiefs' chances. I think that they're good. And then Sue says, I'm hoping for anyone other than the Chiefs because enough is enough. They are the Patriots of the 2020s for sure. Then Darcy threw that. By the way, there's Sonja. Hi, Sonja. Sonja. Hi. All right. So Darcy says,
I've been waiting for this.
Raiders' respectable amount of wins is what? 6? I still don't like what they have at quarterback. I'm going to take that in 2 parts. Kate, I'm going to let you go first. What is your respectable amount of wins for the Raiders?
8.
Ooh, that's a good question.
They had 4 last year. They need 8 this year. What's with all the hate on Geno Smith?
We'll get to that.
What? As soon as I saw Darcy's question, I'm like, oh, that's got to make the screen.
Yeah.
The only reason Kenny Pickett isn't starting for the Browns week 1 is because of that injury. They don't have time to wait for him. They did the best thing they could by they got a 5th round pick for him, and they moved him along. If he's healthy, by week 6, he'll be competing with Geno for that starting job. I think they're locked at quarterback for the Raiders. With everything else going on, I'm not worried about them at all.
Here's the thing. This is a huge. So for the number of ones that I think are respectable, I'm going to tell you right now. I think that Kate's right. 7 or 8. I would think that was a huge jump from that team to get 7 or 8 in this division. So with the division they play in, I should say. Yeah. Here's the thing with Geno. He's caused such a huge divide in the Seahawks community, and it's stupid. He was a good, serviceable quarterback. Is he elite? No. Can he win you games? Hell yeah, he can. Do not forget 2 years ago, he put that team on his back. And so I think Geno having those inconsistencies is what people question about him. But he's now back with his mentor, with his, this is his Yoda. He loves Pete Carroll. It's why he left Seattle. He's like, I'm going to go wherever Pete tells me to go. So I think that immediately makes them a better team, more cohesive. And don't forget the disaster they have had at quarterback the last few years, for sure. Sonja, welcome. We're so glad you can make it. Thank you for hurrying home. We appreciate it so much. So we are talking about the AFC West. Thank you, traffic gods. So let's talk about the AFC West. What do you think is going to happen in this division?
It's going to be a fun division. I picked the Broncos actually just to be a little bit different. I realized that it is going to be the Chiefs most likely, but I like what the Broncos have done. I like their defense. As much as we don't like Sean Payton, I think he and Bo Nix have a nice little thing going. So, I think they're going to be close, but I still think it's the Chiefs to win. And in terms of the Raiders and Geno Smith, Pete Carroll is a quarterback whisperer, and he whispered something specific to Geno, so I'm good there. I think they'll be fine. But Chargers for sure. I mean, not Chargers, Chiefs for sure.
So I want to say that our good friend Kristen is here. Hi, Kristen.
Hey, Kristen.
Said hi to Sonja. So CP said, I thought the Raiders would be tough until I saw them. Jamal Adams made the team. I'm with you, sir. I'm with you, sir. I'm just going to say that. So Big Red wanted to know how old Mahomes was, and if that plays a part. Then Darcy told us, Mahomes turns 30 in September. Can you believe it? That baby is already 30. It's crazy. I think age is going to start to show. This is still Andy Reid. It's still the best quarterback in the league. It's going to take a lot to kind of dethrone them, but I think that the other teams are getting closer to that for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Sonja, we're going to go back real quick. We've already done the AFC East. Jets, Patriots, Dolphins, Bills. Who you got there? Because we got to get it on the spreadsheet.
Oh, Bills, for sure.
Gotcha.
Bills, I mean, that's no brainer. Okay, so Bills, oh, man. 2, 3, 4 is weird. Like, they're Bills up here, and then Dolphins, Patriots, Jets.
Okay. Did you get that, Kate?
I did.
Okay. Now, Lisa, welcome. Thanks for sliding in here. Appreciate ya. Lisa's had a day, people. We're just going to give her all the grace she needs right now. But I'm going to say this. Lisa, give us real quick, because we've already talked about these divisions, but give us your picks real quick for the AFC Good. East.
AFC Bills. East. Bills.
I know. Who else? What order?
Oh, you want me to do an order?
Yeah.
I'm gonna say it's gonna be the Bills, the Patriots, the Dolphins, and the Jets.
I love it. And now the West. AFC West.
AFC West. Hang on. Let me get my notes.
Okay. Chiefs, Broncos, Chargers, Raiders.
Yeah.
Oh, I got the Chiefs. Oh my God. I'm on my order. I had my order written down. And I don't want to mess my order. Now listen, I'm going to say Chiefs, Broncos, Chargers, Raiders.
Okay, cool. All right. And we also just had, now we have Stephen has jumped in chat. Everyone's jumping in chat. For those of, once again, if you are watching on Twitter, if you are watching on Facebook, if you are watching on Blue Sky, come over to the YouTube channel, jump in the chat because we love to hear from you. All right. So now we're going to move on to the next. We're going to go to the AFC North, which is Steelers, Browns, Bengals, and Ravens. In our poll, the Ravens won by 81%. Then the Bengals coming in behind them, then the Steelers, then the Browns. When I look at this division, there's so many question marks, right? There's so many possibilities. I do think the Ravens still win the division. I have complete faith in Lamar Jackson. I think that and the rest of that team is really good. And the Bengals are going to come in second. Okay, so here's my struggle. Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers goes out. What happens to the Steelers? Do they go below the Browns? Is that possible? Does Joe Flacco outperform the backup to Aaron Rodgers? Like, there's so many possibilities. So I'm going to say, as it is right now, I'm going to have Ravens, Bengals, Steelers, Browns is how I have that in there. All right.
Yes, it is possible for a team to finish below the Browns. I don't like the way that sounded. Is it even possible for a team to have a worse record than the Browns? Yes, it is.
I meant this year, Kate, just this
Yes,
year.
it is. And the Browns are going to finish at the bottom of this division. I love Joe Flacco, but I need him to show me something. I am entering this season. I have no Kool-Aid. I have no positive vibes. I got nothing. We need to figure out if we're keeping Dylan Gabriel or Shedeur Sanders. This is a developmental year. So the Browns are at the bottom. Pittsburgh's a step above them because I do not believe in Aaron Rodgers, even though I do believe in Mike Tomlin. I think the Bengals are going to get their snuff together this year. And I think we're sending two teams to the playoffs from this division, but I think it'll be Bengals Ravens. I think it'll be very tight, one game separating them. But I am going Bengals and then Ravens.
Okay. Sonja, what about you?
Ravens. Bengals, they have the talent. They have the talent. They haven't proven it the past couple of years. That gives me pause.
Fair.
But then you think about Aaron Rodgers.
How long will he play?
That's the question, right? That's the question. So, okay, fine. If all things equal, just on paper, Ravens, Bengals, Steelers, Browns.
Okay. Fair.
I have the Bengals winning this division. I think that last year it was just a fluke. They got off to a bad start. I mean, and some of those games that they should have won, I think it was just one of those flukes that it was just the game got away from them. And by that time it was spiraling. And by the time they did figure it out, it was just a little bit too late. But I think they regroup. The Ravens have just always been there to me. And I think this is their year that they're going to falter a little bit. So I think they're going to falter enough with the Bengals are going to come out and try to have a better start this season than last. And like I said, with them being on the hot seat, so I'm going to go, I think it's going to be the Bengals, the Ravens, the Steelers, and the Browns.
Okay, so we're all kind of about the same, it sounds like. We have so many comments. So we got to get to them. There's so many. Oh, first, we already did this before Sonja and Lisa joined us, but I'm going to put it again. Hey, Lisa, who's the starting quarterback in New Orleans?
Spencer Rattler for now. There's no way he won't make a season. I'm telling you, they're going to.
Okay, don't yuck his yum. Let him be happy.
I'm happy for you. I like Spencer. He's a fiery little kid. I love it. You
can tell us when we get to the NFC South. We'll talk.
We'll get there. Spencer, all right. So Kristen has Ravens, Bengals, Browns, Steelers. Interesting.
Kristen, the check is in the mail.
Love that. Darcy's got the Ravens, then a major gap. Steelers, Bengals, Browns. There's a lot of people who are questioning the Bengals this year, including Sue, who says Bengals issues start at the top. They don't do anything to help Burrow. I agree with that. Darcy's got only Joe Flacco stands in the way of Dylan Gabriel starting. That's very fair. One injury, and there he's at. All right, Big Red's got Ravens, Bengals, Browns, and Steelers. Lots of faith in that this year. I love that. That's really good. And then we have Kristen says that the Browns have a lot of backups, so it's hopeful. And that's what I was going to say, Kate, after what you said. The interesting thing about not having any expectations is you can almost truly evaluate a team then, right? Because you're not looking for these stars to pop off other than Myles Garrett. But so you can then kind of truly evaluate, oh, he needs to stay, he needs to go, he needs to do that, which I think kind of can be fun as a fan. But that's just my little analytical brain. So, and then Darcy says, I don't believe in Aaron Rodgers and I don't believe in the Bengals defense. That's fair. Very, very fair. Kristen thinks Rodgers will show up for 7 games. I think that. Let's see. So, God love you. CP, that's hilarious. Rodgers and Flacco should have a wheelchair fight. Inappropriate, but I love it. So funny. That's all right. Then we have Steven who says Ravens, Steelers, Bengals, Browns. So I think that there could be a lot of interesting things that go on in this division for sure. I think that it could be real fun to watch. All right. One more division left in the AFC, and that's the South. We have the Titans, the Jags, the Colts, and the Texans. 75% of our voters believe that the Texans would win this division. 25% was the next closest with the Jags. This division is really uninspiring to me, and yet I think could have a little bit of a shakeup. I do think that the Texans are going to win the division just because they seem to have the talent level that can carry them through, even though they have some injuries going through, and they did some reorganizing today, which I thought was really interesting. So with everything came out, but the second place team I think could possibly be the Titans. And so I am putting them in second place, then the Jags, then the Colts. Nothing against Danny Dimes. I just don't think that he's going to carry the Colts very far. So I think it's going to be the Texans, Titans, Jags, and Colts. And yes, I will probably be very wrong. Kate, where are you at with this division?
Oh, I'm going to be wronger than you. I have serious concerns about what's going on in Houston. I love CJ Stroud, and I thought that draft they had 2 years ago and the way that he performed that first year. Last year, I saw a lot of sketchy things going on, and I think Trevor Lawrence and the Jags have figured it out, and he's healthy, and they're going to be one of those teams that goes from worst to first. They're going to go. They were 4-13 last year. I have them 13-4 this year. I have the Jags winning the division with the Texans in second, the Titans third. I think they're going to have a strong showing, probably 7, 8, 9 games with Cam Ward. And Colts in last. I'm sorry. Yeah. I'm not a fan of what they're doing in Indy. So yeah, I'm going out on a limb with the Jags winning this division.
Sonja, what do you think? Titans, Jags, Colts, Texans.
I think no. Okay. Texans, Titans. Because I like what they're doing, and I think that they've got a little fire. Cam Ward is the truth there, so I think he'll be very good. Jags, because they have Travis Hunter, and I think they can I think they've improved a little bit in the offseason, so I think there's some good there. And then I have no faith in the Colts this year. Danny Dimes, no, Danny Dimes isn't going to do it.
I don't think so either. Lisa, what about you?
I'm saying the Texans just because of the consistency. They're the team that just has had the consistency going on. When you look at the Jags, were new coach, question marks on the quarterback. So that's going to be interesting. The Colts, the same thing, inconsistency at the quarterback situation. What's going on? So I'm clearly thinking it's going to be the Texans taking it, followed by the Jaguars, just because of the experience of the players on the Jags team. I think is a little bit better than the Colts. Where at least Sunshine's been there for a couple of years, right, where Jones hasn't. So just consistency wise, I'm just gonna say this is going to be the Texans, Jags, Colts, and then the Titans. I just think Cam's just still raw. I still think it's going to take them a year to get things figured out. But that's what I'm doing.
I just feel like there's a CJ Ward rookie season in him for some reason. I don't know
just
why.
The team around him that bothers
me. That's fair. Yeah. It's a bunch of old Seahawks players. It's very strange. Anyway, all right. So let's go ahead and look at our chat. Kristen has she has Texans, Falcons, Jags. I think she means they're the Colts. So maybe she thinks that they're gonna do better there. And then we have Darcy, Texans, and then does anyone win more than 7 games?
I like that one, Darcy.
That's totally plausible, right? Absolutely plausible. All right. Big Red then has Texans, Colts, Jags, Titans. Tennessee needs time with Cam Ward. And that's fair too. And that's where kind of the question mark really surrounds this is what are they going to get out of Cam and how quickly that will develop. Then we have, let's see, Sue here. We have Texans, Jags, Titans, Colts. So that makes total sense. Looks like everyone has some pretty strong belief in the Texans, Titans, yeah. Colts, Jags. Sorry. Kristen said, oops, I wanted the Colts last. Gotcha. Okay. Right. Texans, Jags, Titans. All right. So, and CP has a good point. The AFC South plays the NFC West this year, which will be a tough task. Maybe if they have any players on the field. We'll see how that goes. But I agree with you. All right. So that wraps up the AFC for us, which is awesome because it's right at the 30-minute mark. Love it, love it. All right, so now we're going to go to the NFC. We're going to start with the NFC East, the Cowboys, Commanders, Giants, and Eagles. This one was a little interesting. So we have the Eagles winning at 68% on our fan poll. Commanders coming in next. Then almost no voting for the Cowboys or the Giants, which is... Fair enough. So when I look at this division a little bit, I look at it as until proven otherwise, the Eagles are going to win that division. Just the way it is. I mean, it just makes sense. They've got lots of talent, even though they did some switching up. Lost, I think, some of their I think they lose their OC, their DC, I can't remember. So we'll see what happens. So I have the Eagles coming in first. I have the Commanders coming in second. And there has been a lot that I have read where people aren't buying this Commanders team. And I'm not sure where that came from after the way they played last year. I don't know if it's like a second-year Dan Quinn thing. I don't know what it is, but it's interesting to me. I have full faith that team will be at least as good as it was last year, if not better. I have the Giants coming in third. I think that Russell Wilson is enough to win them enough games to stay ahead of the Cowboys because I have no faith in the Cowboys right now. It's not a slam on Dak. It's not a slam on CD Lamb, who I have in one of my fantasy football leagues. I just don't know that they have a deep enough team in order. And I think the Giants have some very good pieces on that team that if they have someone good enough to throw them the ball and get them the ball, that they could be very, very good. And their draft was fantastic. So, Kate, what about you?
I agree with everything you said. I have the same ranking and the same points.
Awesome.
I'll save us all time. I love Russell with the Giants. I love Russell with the Giants. I don't think it's enough to win the division and take it away from the Eagles. It's definitely enough to displace the Cowboys and maybe even the Commanders. I'm seeing the same thing you are, that people are very shaky on the Commanders for this year. That'll be interesting to watch.
Yeah. Sonja, what about you?
Same, honestly. It's the Eagles to lose. I think the Commanders will still be there. I mean, I see kind of where people are getting a little I mean, okay. Jaden Daniels is fantastic, but he's still Jaden Daniels and still, kind of But I think they will definitely be second. Giants for sure third. I like what they've done. I think they've got some talent there now. And so I think this at least buys Brian Daboll at least one more year. So there's that. And then Cowboys are just a hot mess right now. So that's those are my picks.
Lisa, anything different?
No, it's kind of fair. I think, like you said, it's the Eagles to lose. I like Russell Wilson a little bit better than Dak Prescott at this moment. So I'm actually going to go with the Eagles winning it. I'm going to have the Giants second.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I think they got some good pieces there. The Commanders are going to. I got third. I just think people are thinking it was maybe a fluke, little luck on the side of James. I don't think there's just full on 100% confidence right now in the kid. But just a lot of times you see that where these kids start off, runners making things happen. The second year just doesn't the luck doesn't go on your side sometimes. Sure. So I think that's kind of the problem with the Commanders at the moment. So I'm actually going to, like I said, I'm going to go Eagles, Giants, Commanders, and the Cowboys winning dead last.
Okay. So let's go look at our comments. So we have Big Red, Commanders, Eagles, Giants, Cowboys. Okay. I like Big Red's going through.
I love it.
I like it too. Sue's with Eagles, Commanders, Giants, Cowboys. I like the Giants at quarterback this year. I think that we can all see the drastic improvement, which is why we all picked the Colts to be last, right? Because they got their old one for sure. Steven says the NFC East is the Giants, the Giants, the Giants, and the Giants, and I will die on this ship. If you see me with a white flag on a burning boat down the river, you know why. He is taking the Giants to win. Thank you very much. I love it.
In Russ he trusts. In Russ he trusts.
He totally does. I love it. Kristen says the Eagles, Commanders, Giants, and Cowboys. Let's see. Sorry, I have so many comments here. So let me see.
I just think it's very telling that all the ones that I've seen so far agree with us with Dallas being last.
It is true. Darcy says he has no faith in Dallas and or in the Giants. And then Kristen came right back and said Russ can do it. They're just going to be better this year. How much better? We don't know. But we kept talking about how much talent the Giants had last year. They should have a quarterback. Well, now they have a quarterback. Actually, they have 3. I mean, really, even if Russ goes down, they got Jameis. If Jameis goes down, they got Dart. I mean, they're in a good spot over there for sure. All right. So then we have Big Red says, let's be real. Dak isn't the issue.
Agreed.
Jerry Jones is the issue. They won't win the division until he's no longer making decisions. I don't really disagree with that. Darcy says, in regards of lack of faith in the Commanders, it's the defense that didn't get improved. And they did win a lot of games last year. I think 8 of their wins came in fourth quarter. That's fair. And everyone who knows, Darcy's a Commanders fan, so he definitely knows. CP says Eagles, Washington, Giants, Dallas. Most people think that Dallas is really going to struggle. And then it's that the NFC East plays the NFC North and AFC West this year. Ouch. That is a lot of bad games. Seriously. And then he also added, no one has repeated winning the NFC East since 2004. That
good point.
Is definitely so. And then CP says that Giants have the best D-line in football. All right. So let's move on to the NFC West. You guys, this division, I swear to God, they're trying to kill me. Okay. So in our poll, and this could be because I retweeted it. I'm going to put this out there. We might have got a little ballot box stuffing. So the Seahawks win 66%. The 49ers coming in at 16.7%, tied with the Rams at 16.7%. No one picked the Cardinals. Nobody. Sorry, Cardinals. Okay, so that was in our poll. This one is very difficult for me. And the reason why it's hard for me is not because my favorite team is in it. It's because right now, even if you take it on paper right now, there are so many injuries in this division, you have no idea how the hell they're going to play. We have Matt Stafford, maybe, won't, could, how long, nobody knows. I mean, and he is the engine of the Rams. They have a lot of great players, but you need that quarterback. Look at the Niners. Remember, we read off their injury list. It was like 3 scrolls long, and they have all of these players going on PUP. Who knows who that team is going to be at that point? Then you have the Cardinals, who also have a ton of injuries, most not as severe as some of the others, and Kyler Murray, who no one has faith in. Like I said before you two got on, he is the Justin Herbert of the NFC. He shoulda, coulda, would have been fabulous. Where is that? We don't know. So for this reason, and this only reason, I am picking the Seahawks to win this division because they do not have a single injury right now. And that's what we are supposed to be basing it on is right now. 4 games in, I'll change my tune. I promise. But right now I'm taking the Seahawks. After that, I'm going to take the Rams, then the Niners, then the Cardinals. But the Cardinals and Niners could flip depending on that injury situation. I do think the Arizona Cardinals will be better. I don't know if they're going to be that much better until they figure out what's going on with their quarterback. So I'm not being a homer, Steven. I am not. It is only due to injuries. If there were no injuries on the other team, I'd put Seahawks 3rd or 4th. I'm not kidding you. But with the injury list on there, sorry.
Steven, all right. We're gonna get her some cheese with that wine.
Yeah, just a little bit. Just a little bit. All right, shut up. I can be a homer if I want to. All right, Kate, what do you think about this division?
This is the only division where I had a really, really difficult time. And so when all else fails, I go to the guru and I get advice from Vegas because Vegas knows.
Vegas knows.
49ers first, Rams second, Cardinals third, Seahawks fourth.
That's the rankings right now.
And it's
Even with
this
those
close between the 49ers and the Rams, but I'm going to see if Vegas knows if they know. Apparently they haven't looked at the injured reserve list, but that's how I'm going to throw my predictions on the spreadsheet I'm filling out here.
Fair
I'm
enough.
going to roll with Vegas.
Gotcha. Sonja, what about you?
I like this division.
This division's hard, especially with all these injuries.
Hard. I like it. Yeah. So, I don't know. Rams, Niners, Hawks, Cards.
Damn, we're all
I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, those are totally valid, right?
Right? Like, and
yeah. Lisa, what about you?
All right, I'm going right back to my consistency thing. I think it's the 49ers just because of, the consistency of the players.
Really? They were last year.
But I think Sam Darnold, I think that whole nucleus is still kind of trying to figure things out. Cardinals, same way. Kyler Murray, he's still a steadfast there. I see them improving a lot. Matt Stafford's back bothers me. I'm going to be very honest with you. I think he is a hit away of being done for the season.
I do too.
He's a hit away from being done forever.
Then you get Jimmy. It'll be Jimmy time.
So I'm going. It might not be that bad.
We saw a lot of Wynn and a little bit of Stetson when they were here for the preseason game last week.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I'm going 49ers, Cardinals, Rams, Seahawks.
Cardinals?
Yeah, I'm going with the consistency.
I love that none of us are the same. I love it. Love it.
I
love
do
it.
too.
Love it.
I'm not that high on the Cards though, but
I'm just making sure my spreadsheet's right. 49ers, Cardinals, Rams, Seahawks.
Excuse me. Can you repeat that, please?
Like Excel won't let me fill it in. It keeps going
no.
Reject. Try again.
All right, let's go look at our chat here. As Steven says, "Oh no, not the NFC West try to take Dayna out." I'm telling you, every year, even every year. All right, so Big Red has got Rams, Hawks, Niners, Cards. Like that a lot. I'll take it. And then NFC West, Rams. This is honestly the toughest to call.
Yep. Rams,
Seahawks, Niners, Cards. I think so too because of the injuries there. Steven says Niners, Seahawks, Rams, and Arizona. Sue says, I honestly don't have faith in any of those teams, so stuck with the 49ers only because of history. Yeah, of being in last place last year. I'm just going to keep saying that because it makes me happy. Sorry. CP says Seahawks, Rams, Cardinals, Niners. Kristen, I'm with you, girl. Rocks, Rams, Cards, Niners in last place, which if they don't get these injuries figured out, that could very well be. Let's see. Kristen says that she still loves that people are underestimating the Hawks, but I think that that's fair, right? Like we've talked about that in other divisions where if you don't know, they have a new OC, they have a new offense, people are having a panic attack about their wide receiver room, which they really shouldn't. And so I think that it's fair that people are underestimating. This is a great question by Big Red. Who's worse injury-wise, Stafford or Rodgers? Right today, Stafford. And I think his is a little more long-term than Rodgers getting taken out a little bit, but we'll see. All right. Let's move on to the NFC North. We have the Bears, the Lions, the Packers, and the Vikings. I will tell you, this is one of the few divisions that got votes for every single team on our online poll. The Lions won with 63%, and then the Bears and the Packers were a tenth of a point apart. The Bears, and then the Packers, and then the Vikings. This one is fascinating to me because I know I've said that about a lot of them. I'm sorry, do I keep saying that? But it's because I think they're so on an even playing field. A lot of these are. I think that these teams, you can go this defense or this defense, this offense or this offense. I think that that's interesting. I do think the Lions win this just because I think they still have the most talented team. This is tough. I'm going to go Packers second, Bears third, Vikings last. And the only reason why I say that is because Justin Jefferson has this hamstring, which I know probably means nothing. He just didn't want to do training camp. But JJ McCarthy, he's probably the biggest unknown of these four teams. Although I'm not thrilled with what I'm seeing out of Chicago. I think they did get better. And so that's my four. Kate, where are you at?
Lions.
Mm-hmm.
And not just because, until somebody beats them, kind of like we talk about with the Chiefs and stuff. I think the Lions, just their injuries caught up with them at the end of last year. That 15-win season they're just a solid team. Lions, I got Vikings in second. I've watched a lot of JJ football back in the day when he was in college. Enough said about that. Bears third, Packers fourth. I don't know what's going on with the Packers. I don't think this division is sending 3 teams to the playoffs though this year. I think it might be 2. Yeah. But I think there are some other divisions that are going to be more hotly contested that'll have that 2 or 3. So they'll be lucky to get 2 from this division.
Okay. Sonja.
Dayna, tell me yours again because my spreadsheet didn't.
I have Lions, Packers, Bears, Vikings.
Got it. Thank you.
Sonja?
I think I'm going to say the same: Lions, Packers, Bears, Vikings. I think they're going to be close. I think it's going to be the black and blue division again. I'm kind of with Darcy here. I don't see 3 teams winning 11 plus games, but I don't see a huge gap between first place and last place. Let's put it that way. So Lions, Packers, Bears, Vikings.
Okay. Lisa.
I'm gonna say I'm kind of very consistent with you guys on this one. I'm gonna say the Lions. Just like I said, the injuries, same thing, caught up with them. I think they're a healthy team. Should continue their quest. Then it's just a dice roll as far as that comes. You're gonna have to go with the Packers just because Jordan Love. I mean, it's just hot and cold. The Packers are hot and cold. I mean, one game they come out and they look like they're unstoppable. The second, next couple of weeks, they look like they can't beat themselves out of a wet paper bag. So it's just kind of hard. The Bears and the Vikings, we just don't know. I mean, do you have that much faith in Caleb at this point? I mean, you have to me, just because of Ben Johnson, I'm going to lean towards him a little bit. So I'm gonna go Lions, Packers, Bears, Vikings, just because I don't know much about JJ. I've seen him in college too. I just don't know how that's going to gel with the rest of the team at the moment.
All right. So I will say the consistent answer in chat is the Lions winning the division. Lions, Packers, Bears, Vikings. Lions, Bears, Packers, Vikings. Big Red coming in strong. Bears winning the division.
Whoa,
Lions,
Rogue.
Packers, Vikings.
Rogue.
Listen, he's all about that. All right. Then we have Sue with the Lions, Vikings, Bears, Packers.
Okay.
And then we have the Lions, Packers, Vikings, Bears. So this is what's interesting to me. Hold on. We got a couple more. We got Kristen down here. Lions, Packers, close 1-2. And then Bears and Vikings. And then this is interesting. Darcy says the NFC North gets the AFC North on their schedule too. So I think that is a consensus. We know the Lions are good. The Packers should be good. It's going to just bend a little bit here or there. So I think that's really interesting. All right, last division, NFC South. The Panthers, the Falcons, the Saints, and the Bucks. There were teams that got all votes on this one too. Big Red, is that Saints vote yours? I bet that's yours.
I bet it is.
All right, so the Buccaneers are within our poll, won this division, or won with 68% of the votes. Then we have the Falcons coming in second at 15%, the Panthers at 10%, the Saints at 5%. There's no reason to think the Bucs shouldn't win this division, right? There's lots of reasons to think why the other teams would. Like there's lots of questions, right? And so you have to go with the Bucs, I think, to start with that division for sure. What's interesting to me is I think the Falcons could have gotten a lot better. We need to see a full year under Michael Penix's jersey, belt. They have some really good pieces they put there. What is Bijan Robinson going to do this year? Like, what is going to happen? All the questions. The Panthers, we'll see, right? Sorry. Okay, and the Saints, as much as we love Spencer Rattler and we like to cheer him on for Big Red, that is a huge question mark. But that's not the only question mark with the Saints. There's a lot there, so we'll have to see. Taysom Hill, God help us, that experiment's still going on, is already like on PUP or something. I can't. So we'll see. This division could actually end up to be close. it just won't be huge numbers of wins. So I'm going to go Bucks, Falcons, Saints, Panthers. Okay, we're just going to do it right now. All right, Big Red, I got you. Let's just get this out of the way. The Saints, the Panthers, the Bucks, the Falcons. I want someone to write that down because if that happens, he needs like a present in the mail or something. I love it, Big Red. Good for you. He's as much of a
trying to put it on my spreadsheet.
Okay.
Oh my God.
All right, Kate, where are you at with this division?
I still love Baker Mayfield. I'm taking the Buccaneers first, but I am taking the Saints second. I think I need to see more of Michael Penix Jr. And if Mr. Beige, Kirk Cousins, is helping him, I'm not in love with it. And Lord love Bryce. We got to get him out of Carolina. He needs to go somewhere else. He is better than this. They've done, in my opinion, nothing in the offseason to help him. So I'm going Buccaneers, Saints, Falcons, Panthers.
Sonja, what about you?
It's hard, but I think Buccaneers, Falcons, Saints, Panthers. I don't know. I just don't have a bunch of faith in this division. I don't like the coaching is just I don't have a bunch of faith in this division. So I'm just gonna rock with Buccaneers because they seem to have the talent right now.
Okay. Lise?
Oh, I'm gonna say definitely same boat, Buccaneers, because of Baker Mayfield and that coaching staff. I think that consistency once again. I'm gonna go Falcons just because Michael Penix has had a year under his belt, so this is a new season for him. So I think he'll improve. So I'm gonna go there, and I'll be honest, it's a coin flip for me between I think they're both the same team, but I think I'll give Bryce a little bit more love than Spencer Rattler at this moment, just because once again, I just don't know what kind of team the Saints are going to be. So I'm pressed against the fence. Buccaneers, Falcons, Panthers, Saints.
Okay. All right, let's look at our chat. So we have Stephen comes in with the Bucks, the Falcons, the Saints, and the Panthers. I don't see. Oh no! Look at CP coming in there. Okay, Darcy says Bucks, Falcons, Panthers, Saints. Who could possibly go 0-7? 17. Let's see. We have Bucks, Saints, Falcons, and Panthers. We already got Big Reds out of the way. Here's a different one. CP says Falcons are going to win this division. The Bucks, the Panthers, and the Saints. It's not undoable for sure. Susan here with Bucks, Falcons, Panthers, Saints. Sorry to the Spencer fans. And then Big Red said this. I know what I said about Carolina's first 2 games, but it's different than the regular season. You did those ones. All right. Okay. So we've picked our divisions. We did. So what I did is I pulled up last year's playoffs, right? Because traditionally there's one playoff team that doesn't make it back in, and then there's a team that makes it in. So when you look at the AFC, you have the Chiefs, the Texans, the Chargers, the Ravens, the Steelers, the Bills, and the Broncos all were in there. On the AFC, you have the Lions, the Rams, the Vikings, the Commanders, the Buccaneers, the Eagles, and the Packers. Of those teams, who do you guys think is not going back to the playoffs? Anybody got a guess?
Give me the AFC because I'm going to put the Bengals in. I'm taking the Bengals going to the playoffs, so I need a team to take out. Then I take the Steelers out. I think I take the Steelers out. Yeah, I do. I'm taking the Bengals. I think the Bengals are going to make the playoffs. So that means that I have to take the Steelers out. That's who I'm taking out.
Okay. Anybody else? Anything different?
I am taking the Chargers out.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're not getting 3 from the AFC West. And I am putting the Giants in.
Okay. In the NFC?
That's AFC.
Oh,
Where's
sorry,
Biz?
AFC. Yeah, I'm moving the Giants over to the AFC
Why
because
not?
I know. I was looking at both of them.
I
I'm like,
sorted
what?
my spreadsheet and it moved all my
No, you're good.
NFC teams over.
You're good.
I'm moving the Raiders over instead of the Chargers.
Dang.
Interesting. Okay. Sonja, anything? Because I'm with
Everybody's
Lisa.
just-
I think the Bengals are going to replace the Steelers.
Mhm.
Yeah, I could see that.
Mm-hmm.
I could see that.
Interesting.
I
Okay.
could see.
On the
Mhm.
NFC side, we have the Lions, the Rams, the Vikings, the Bucks, the Commanders, the Eagles, and the Packers.
Oh, I'm keeping it. I
Yeah.
am. I can't think of anybody else that I would replace.
I'm taking the Vikings out. I'm going to take the Vikings out.
Okay.
And
Who are you putting in?
think
Giants.
the Giants.
Huh? That would probably be the only thing that at this moment I can.
So
Yeah,
can
that's
see.
the only thing I can think of. Let's take the Giants, or let's take the Vikings out, put the Giants in.
So Lisa, you and I both took the 49ers. They did not make the playoffs last year. If they win
Okay.
that division, are they just replacing the Rams?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Yes, exactly.
I would do the same with the
Exactly.
Seahawks.
Yep.
Mhm.
I think so.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I should have framed the question more. It's like the second team. Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
The Rams
That's
are a
really
question. I mean, I'm but like you said, you got Jimmy G too. I mean, that's no bad
Right.
backup there.
Yeah.
He might, and he's so I don't know. But yeah, that's what I would do.
But
on
in
that
order to
one.
get 2 out of the West, you can't have 3 out of the North.
Right. So yeah, so you're gonna have to take
Mhm.
one of them out.
If you take out the Vikings, you can add the 49ers, and then it's everybody else is the same.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think the Vikings are gonna go either. I don't
I don't think so either.
Mhm.
All right. So a couple of comments. Washington and the Vikings are out. My New York Giants and the Niners are in. That's fair. Darcy says the Rams are, I'm sorry. CP says the Rams are not getting in. I just don't think so either. So Steven thinks that we're getting 3 from the AFC North. Anything is,
Possible.
for sure. And then Darcy says the Steelers are probably the easiest candidate to miss out in the AFC.
Right.
Mhm.
Big Red Steelers aren't going back. Steven says that the Broncos miss it and the Bengals get back in. So that's interesting. But here's this. And Sue, I completely agree with you. And this brings up always a huge debate in football every single year. She said it's kind of sad that some divisions have 4 good teams and the others have like 0. And that's where they had the conversation in the NFL. Do you go by record? And so I think that where instead of just because you won your division, does that. And then it was shot down because I think if you win your division, you've done your job. You at least get to try in the playoffs. You probably won't stay long if you're not any good, but you should get to try. And so I think so. But I do think that does show that there's still some pretty big disparity in the NFL when you think about, who gets what, because players now can be like, I'm going to go play over here. I'm not playing for you. And it makes it hard. But the nice thing about the NFL is it is very cyclical. And so what goes around comes around for most of these teams at some point. All right. Does anyone want to give us their prediction for the Super Bowl in our last 2 minutes? Chat, I'm looking at you too. If you guys want to give us your prediction for the Super Bowl.
5 or 6 games in, I will, but no.
Yeah, Lisa and I have said that. Lisa and I did this podcast for about 8 years, just the two of us for a long time. And we always said, you have no idea who a team is until you're 6 games in. And it is so, so true. Absolutely. All right. Anyone in chat want to give us? No, you guys don't want to? There's a guarantee going.
Come on, Red. The stage is open.
Let's see. Darcy says, I don't know who to take out of the NFC. Maybe the Rams. No, the NFC West is with Seattle. It's true. Yeah, people want to do it. And you know why?
Right.
Because who the hell knows? Are you going to do it, Kate?
Oh,
Big Red says Commanders and Bills. I love it.
So I took my spreadsheet with my wins and losses from last year, and I sorted it regardless of division by wins and losses. And the 7 teams that made the playoffs from the AFC are still the top 7. And there are 8 teams in the NFC, 3 teams that went 10-7. The Buccaneers, the Rams, and the Seahawks. And so there's 8. We need to get it down to 7. One of those teams would have not made the playoffs if we went strictly by record. But at least as far as last year goes, it still would have been 7-7 from both divisions.
Yeah. Interesting.
It wouldn't have mattered last year.
Okay. So Big Red says Commanders Bills. Kristen says Ravens and Eagles. That'd be interesting.
Love it.
Steven says Chiefs in the fried chicken rematch. I hope not. I hate it when there's repeat Super Bowls.
Me too.
Hate
I
them.
hope not.
Hate them. All right, everybody. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us for a whole hour. This show is always long because we do go through every single team, every single division. We have a lot of fun with it. And like Kate mentioned at the top of the show, we revisit this spreadsheet about 10 to 12 weeks in so we can tell you how right or wrong we were going to be, right? So,
and I added a column for Big Red's predictions.
That's right. We got you, Big Red. So. We got you. Absolutely. All right. But as a programming note, we will not be on next Tuesday. Instead, I will be live tweeting the NFL opener on Tuesday night. So you guys will be able to join me while I live tweet, post, whatever the heck we're calling it now. And so we can chit chat through the game. I'll probably pop on here a couple of days. Did I say Tuesday? Sorry.
Yes.
Thursday, the opener, the Eagles game. I'll probably pop on here a little bit so we can chit chat. So make sure you subscribe and you put the notification button on so that you know when we decide to go ahead and go live. But it'll be fun. And then we start our regular programming, right? We will pick a game of the week. We will live tweet that game. We will give you the scores. We do Thursday night. We do Monday night. We do Sunday night. You can hang out with us at Our Turf all season long. So we will see you guys next Thursday instead of next Tuesday. Yes. Good night, everybody.